Hello, Namaskar. I am Amudha Narayanan, long-time yoga practitioner. Thanks to Akshay Anand and his team for giving me a great opportunity to talk to you on um, the topics of how to go with your quarantine and isolation. Most of you would be in quarantine or in isolation right now. Um, I'm here to speak how this different pace in your life could be made useful in a best way, in a yogic way. With the advent of electronic gadgets, our life has been super connected and fast, isn't it? Hello? Yeah. With the advent of electronic gadgets and our lives have been super connected and fast, isn't it? We are chasing and rushing all the time. Many of you would be enjoying this break. Some of you would be Many of you would be enjoying this break and um, enjoying this break. Some of you would have grown anxious and depressed with the sudden happenings. Whatever it is, how is yoga going to help you through this phase? Yes, different protocol of asanas and physical postures, pranayama can be given for strengthening your immunity system, increase the lung capacity. Different set of asanas for relaxation and recovery can be administered, which can activate your parasympathetic system and thereby reducing your anxiety and stress. Asanas or pranayam need to be practiced with mindfulness or it becomes any other physical exercise. The question of this hour is how many of us are in a desirable state to practice yoga or asana? Has isolation and lockdown disturbed you or for worried you? Has it put any stress or disturbance or kind of worry towards your future or loved ones? This is it is common with everybody at this stage. Yoga philosophy has the best solutions for it. Practical just solution. Just apply this. I'm just going by step because yoga has solution for everything and anything because it is a yoga has been invented with all wisdom by the yogis at the past. Yoga is all about the inner journey. Physical body is connected to matter and material at the grossest level. Mind is connected at its subtlest level. Intelligent and clear mind seeks for the absolute. Mind is slowly established at one pointed, but mind has to be surpassed to find the absolute and ultimate. Yoga is all about this. We need to find the absolute. We need to surpass the mind, go beyond it, all this. Most of the ancient scriptures like Hatha Yoga Pratipika and Yoga Sutra talks about how this can be initiated for beginners and householders like us. Hatha Yoga talks at the beginning itself. Hatha Yoga talks to start. How to start with your practices. It stays first and foremost is social distancing and isolation. And next point it comes to is how the place where we have to live in isolation has to be. It has to be secluded, clean, neat, and how the discipline has to be met. All this is being discussed very clearly. Why is it being so discussed? There should be some point with your isolation and cleanliness and neatness. That is why they are establishing this point. See, every point that yoga philosophy talks about has some valid reasons behind it. So when it talks about isolation and it recommends discipline and neatness, it means it adds to the isolation somewhere or other because isolation it's mainly to strengthen you from inside out, to make you more alert, aware, to meet the society, and to grow within you. But this has to be kept, it has to be giving, the isolation has to give this to us. If it gives the other way around, if you see the things are strewn out, you're not living in a neat place, you're not living a disciplined life, it's going to be the opposite side of it. So living in a neat and in a very disciplined way is going to add some value to the isolation. That is why they have recommended this. So go and look into this point. The Hatha Yoga talks about how you have to eat, what kind of mithara food you have to live, what are the things that you have to go ahead. We leave all this point. If we just go into the first 2 points, the neatness and cleanliness. First, to emphasize on cleanness. So some connection, isn't it? It talks about how the place has to have ventilation, where the things has to be kept, how it neat, and you have to feel secure. All these things. So try to establish this thing at this juncture. Try to keep your place very, very clean, tidy, neat, and along with it, we have been obviously forced social distancing and isolation. So we have to get into this point. If you have all this cleanliness brings socially, slowly, it brings about kind of rhythm in your life. Discipline reduces lot of anxiety and boredom. We need to draw a strict timetable, fixing duty and work, methodize your work ethics without any external interruptions. This is very much possible at this period. Fix your asanas, pranayam practice, meditation, and other value-based activities in this time. Eating, your discipline has to be this way: eating, daily course, rest, prayer, practice, leisure time, everything has to be placed in a timetable. This method helps your mind to be active and escape from boredom and loneliness. For things to happen this way, your work and living place has to be arranged in a systematic way. Things has to be placed in due places so that we don't have any confusion. Even in the darkness, you have to go and reach for the things. It has to be so pristine and neat and clean and arranged. Naturally, when these things are established, the cleanliness comes. When things are orderly, your life becomes unused, hoarded things goes out. Irritation and anger also reduced largely by this. And when this happens, cleanliness also comes inside. When you are going for a neatness, disciplined life, the cleanliness happens on its own. When cleanliness comes, the discipline also follows it. When your life is disciplined, then you don't have more anxiety, and the anxiety ends there. The clutters removed, the confusion is reduced. That we can establish these kind of step which are circular in manner. It reduces, it establishes the discipline dot to dot. This will provide you the confidence for vairagya and abhyasa for your practices. You go about your practices, your meditation, asana and pranayama practices dot to dot without any interruptions in life. Also, the Yoga Sutra talks about tapas. The other, for the householders such like us, it talks about the Kriya Yoga, where it talks about tapas, swadhyaya, and Ishvara pranidhana. Tapas is like endurance. What is endurance? Right now, what we need is, it's a very difficult phase that we are going through, but if you take that difficulty in the most happiest manner, we endure it. If you take it happily and you stay within your home and you endure it, then the end of the phase, you are going to see something good. That is called tapas, which is most essential at this point of time. Also, this tapas gives endurance, gives you value and happiness to your life, so that takes a willingness, strengthens your willpower also. The next point is when these are all established, you can have some time for your own swadhyaya. You can keep reflecting yourself and see. When you reflect yourself and see, you may understand yourself for better, and you go for the better correction of yourselves, and you rewrite your own destiny and your own personality. Apart from that, Kriya Yoga talks a very important point, Ishvara Pranidhana. Ishvara Pranidhana is a very, very natural and easy way for us to live. Because when everything has its cause and effect, nothing is in our hand. The cause has been produced long back, and we are going through the effect, and the effect produces cause. We have very, very less point in the things that we happen. So when you leave everything, when nothing is in your hand, just leave everything to him. Surrendering to the higher consciousness is all that we can give. When this surrendering without any ego, without any doubt, produces a kind of uh, uh, it produces a kind of satisfaction within you, and gives a calmness, and it takes away a lot of stress, and you becomes completely a calm and surrender, a very calm and accepting person for whatever that comes along. So at this point of time, has to be practiced. You have to leave everything to him. Look for the positivity. Take a ride in the look for the brighter end at the tunnel, and go with him. Surrender yourself to him. These 5 points, like when you keep a place neat and clean, disciplined lifestyle, and keep doing things dot to dot at a point, all this produces a life without hassles, and also your isolation and your quarantine becomes more effective. If you approach all this point together, you can emerge out as a more energetic and potential person, ready to take extra responsibilities that are awaiting us after the end of the quarantine. People kept in isolation can place their abhyasa 6 to 8 times in a day in a willful mind. People who are quarantined in their homes need to develop relationship equation that has been discussed neatly discussed very deeply in Yoga Sutra, like how your relationship has to be. Make us a relationship, because we are in isolation, quarantine inside the home. The space becomes lesser, but the time within you is very much lot of time within you. So this may develop a kind of hassle within the house. So we have to produce a kind of very good relationship with the people who are immediately with you. So make a relationship circle around you. You being the center of a person, you have to be with clarity and compassion. The first circle around you, what kind of relationship we need to keep with them. It has to be very selfless and unconditional love. Your family members are the one who are around you and always with you. Accept them with all their shortcomings. Your equation with them should be always providing, giving without any expectations and returns. If this is established, then ends all the friction. Living inside a unit with people you love unconditionally, with all discipline, cleanliness, endurance, and spirituality is a boon. And you come out with a person after the end of the 3 weeks. Who can provide things to everybody. You This period becomes like a preparatory period for you to face the period that is going to come ahead. You may have to work for lesser incentive for a longer period of time, which needs more. You need to work for more accomplishment, not for the material world. This kind of 5 things that has been discussed very deeply in yoga, like isolation. You should not lose your mind. You have to be focused in isolation. You have to energize yourself, feel more disciplined. These kind of gives a kind of vairagya inside you. It gives a strength, and it strengthens you within you, and it makes you a person from a adama person to a madhyama, and you become a uttama person who is always working for an established for achievement, and for higher goals. So nothing can stop your work in between. So these kind of things can be interpreted and taken from the Yoga Sutra and Hatha Yoga Pratipika to be put in your in your daily day practices. I was asked to give a 10 minutes speech on isolation, but after that 5 minutes need to be giving a small practice. So it's a breathing, according to our teacher, T. Krishnamachryar. It is always the breathing that's very, very most important thing. So when you have to be very aware and conscious of your breathing all the time. When you breathe, it has to be exhalation and inhalation can be either made equal, it is called Samavritti Pranayam, or it can be made in a different ratio. It is called Vishamavritti Pranayam. Based on the requirement, you need to change the Samavritti and the Vishamavritti Pranayam. If you are going to go for a long relaxation practice, then the exhalation and Bahya Kumpak has to be longer. If you are going to improve the sympathetic, activate the sympathetic system, and if you want to go for increasing your immune system, then it has to be inhale, Antarkumpaka has to be improved and increased. So if this has been established, you can slowly start from Samavritti, that is equal ratio, or you can start with the exhalation longer. Then you can go to Samavritti where inhalation and exhalation are equal in ratio. Then slowly you can go to inhalation longer and exhalation shorter practices. This has to be taken in step-by-step manner. It should not be gone initially on the first day. Inhalation and inhale hold practice should not be given, for which your lungs and your mind will not be ready. So start with the Vishamavritti with exhalation longer, and slowly we need to go for Samavritti where inhalation and exhalation are equal in proportion. Apart from that, your awareness need to be increased wherever you are sitting. As I said, the timetable has to be made for rest, for eating, for social relationship. Everything has to be put in a timetable, and we go with that methodology with cleanliness around. This all establishes a kind of unique feeling within yourself. All the time, yoga has to take you from one step higher every day, or after every practice. This would definitely take you in a higher point. When you establish this kind of 4 to 5 time practice has to come in your timetable, where you can just take even 20 minutes and sit with all awareness towards your fingertips, and you can start with the breathing practice. Just observe how we are doing. See, you have to consciousness need to be developed in your fingertips. You slowly inhale, hold here, and when you come down, we can exhale with the mantra. Om, Om, Om. Then again, you can again go inhale, hold Om, Om. When this is established one round, and the second round, it can be done this way. Inhale, Om, 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 and you hold for a few seconds. Chant the mantra within your mind 3 times. After 3-4 rounds of this, you can go inhale, Om, Om, Om. Chant within your mind and increase the hold. After 3-4 times, when you are comfortable with this hold, you inhale, hold here, chant within your mind, then exhale louder with chant. Om, 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 and hold. This way you can continue doing on all your fingers, and you can establish a link within yourself and sit at a quiet corner and do this practice. And when you establish this, you can just imagine or taking the universal energy within yourself. Inhale slowly, and you can chant Om, Om, Om. Leave out all the mistrust or the disturbances, stress or anxiety that is prevalent within you outside when you do this. So you are taking the universal energy or the blessing of his higher energy inside, and you chant out slowly, leaving the anxiety, stress outside. This way you can establish a very good link within yourself and make your quarantine and your isolation a better time. Thank you, and wishing you all a bright and beautiful future.